on a special edition of the Panther preview today is head football coach here at River Rouge High School, Mr. Corey Parker. Corey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This special edition is very, very, very important to the River Rouge School District as we prepare for a monumental regional final football game against Algonac on Friday night. Coach Parker, tell us a little bit about this season and how it has developed so far.
Well, I think the season has went phenomenal. We can't necessarily say it was everything we've done is a part of our plans. We can say it's been a part of our goals to, win our conference, which we did that as we did for the past 5 years. Definitely always to be a competitor in the state tournament, and which we did that by winning the districts and getting ourselves to the regional final at this point. And lastly, another one of our team goals this year was to raise our team GPA, which we've been able to do that. And right now, the team has been nominated for academic All-State, and right now we're at a 3.4. So it looks as if we'll make a run academically this year too. So we've made a lot of different changes schematically to fit what we do as far as our players, and it's really worked. It's really put defenses in bad shape, and it's helped us move the ball more effectively on offense. And that's a testimony to my coaches and trust in my system, and it's a testimony to the players and really living within the system since they've been. Some guys have played in the system since they were in the 7th grade, so it's really helping us out, the continuity.
Coach, maybe you can speak to that as far as the development of your program. You've been here 7 years now?
Yes, sir.
Started out a little bit, getting your feet wet,
Mm-hmm.
26, 27 kids on the team.
Yep.
A testament to you building this program. Maybe you can speak to how that has come from the junior league support all the way through, your ability to bring in students from, PAL and other areas to our program and make them members of our Rouge family.
Gotcha. Well, coming here was definitely a blessing for me because my wife graduated from River Rouge in 2001, and she's, that's my pride and joy she is. And my high school is closed, so I really want to find a school I could call home. And it just so happened that they took a chance on a 25-year-old guy that was a defensive coordinator at Inkster at the time. And so when I got here, number one thing I wanted to do was do a couple of things that a lot of people in the community was called bridging the gap. We need to bridge the gap between the junior league program and the excitement that they have on Saturday mornings to Friday nights, and getting those players here, getting those coaches more involved, helping those guys out in coaches clinics. And so it took about 2-3 years time, and now we have a really, really good relationship with those guys. And those guys, at the end of the day, we've all become champions together. Since we've come together, now the varsity team and the junior varsity team and the freshman team are all making runs instead of just the freshman team with the junior league program. So that's our baby. The junior league program is our infant, and we make sure we give them everything they need scheme-wise year in, year out to make sure those guys are developing and understanding X and O's so that when they come to us, they know what we're talking about terminology-wise. And so once they come to us, our next objective is to get them, of course, stronger and bigger, tougher, mentally tougher, have a sense of understanding with academics and holding yourself accountable socially. So it's really been a very good relationships that we've developed with those guys at the junior league level, and I appreciate all of their help. At the end of the day, what we've created with those guys, those in-home guys, have made guys from other communities interested in what we have going on. So now we have guys that are coming in that are able to start as freshmen because they're so skilled and talented. So it's really been a lot of work, but at the end of the day, I still don't feel I've worked a day because this is my passion. This is what I love to do, and I just, I take pride in what we have here now.
And, one of the things that's very evident, if anyone's around you for more than a few minutes, knows that this pride, this Panther pride that, from a guy that didn't graduate from here, you have more Panther pride than most folks I know. And you preach it, you live it, and your team and people around you start to follow that. Maybe you could speak to that sense of passion that you have for what you're doing.
Well, my parents always said that, I was destined to be a football player because From the time I was 6 and I started playing, I had just this level of energy because I wasn't as big as other guys or as fast, but I just played with a level of excitement and intensity that it just poured into my teammates. And so I did that all through Little League, all through high school, all through college. And when I started coaching, I didn't know how to coach any other way. So my energy and who I am, I wanted to ooze out throughout my program so that my kids understand, hey, I got confidence in who we are. I got confidence in my city. I know the Rouge is behind me. I know I got confidence in my school district. Let's just go out here, have some fun, make some plays, and do the best we can to uphold the pride that we should particularly play with. So it's a part of me, and now it's a part of our program. It's just who we are, and we're different. We're different. A lot of people don't play with that type of excitement, but I think it's a blessing when you can play the game of football. It's the best game in the world, and you got a lot of people in this world that don't have what we have, so you take an opportunity and you run with it. So that's just what we're doing with this momentum that we create.
Coach Parker's very humble. He played at Detroit, DePores High School, then later at Eastern Michigan.
Yep.
So he has a wealth of knowledge. He's very well respected in the football community. On top of that, he was elected to the regional council
Yes,
of
sir.
the Coaches Association at the state level. So the respect that he's gained and earned over the time he's been here is starting to be recognized by those around him. Coach Parker, I told you before we started the show today, we've looked it up. We can't find anywhere in the history of River Rouge that we've won 11 football games. Coach Parker's 10-1 right now, 10-1. And Friday night we have this monumental regional final game against a team coming down from Algonac, and they're also 10-1. So someone's going to be 11-1. For those of you who understand the Michigan High School Athletic Association playoff system, we are 3 victories away from Ford Field Championship. We're 2 victories away from playing at Ford Field, which has never been done in River Rouge. Maybe speak about this groundbreaking experience that you're trying to put in front of the River Rouge community right now.
Gotcha. Well, I talk to a lot of coaches, and I listen to a lot of older guys, and they always say, it's not that year when you have the most talent that you're gonna kick the door in. It's gonna be those years that you go into the regional final and lose, or the district final and lose, but you just get in there and you just keep chiseling away, and eventually something special is going to happen. You're going to kick the door in, and that's how we look at this particular year. We look at an opportunity where this is the first time we've had 3 playoff games at home, and my kids worked hard for it. We made some pretty impressive wins to finish off the season to get here versus Riverview, and at the end of the day, we look at it and we say, wow, we're playing our last home game at home in the playoffs. We can't play any more games at home. And so the next game from here is the semifinals, but we can't look past Algonac because, they're talented too and they have coaches too. So we're going to relish the moment, and we're going to play every single down like it's our last, because at the end of the day, it is my kids' last time playing at Panther Stadium. So they're going to play that way. And so the excitement right now is like no other, because we know Ford Field is in our vision. We could see it. But we don't want to look past what we may have next, or we don't want to look past what we have this Friday. So the moment itself is wonderful to say that we have a situation right now where we're able to break records and create records at River Rouge now that other teams, specifically speaking, some of those Junior League kids can watch this mission that we're on, watch this journey, and they can become a part of it later on in their life, saying, hey, I'm going to break the records that the 2014, 2015 team did. I'm going to break the records 2015, 2016 team did. So at the end of the day, we're creating new goals. We're creating new horizons. And I think this community, the city, our school district, we deserve it. Why not us? And that's how we're looking at this thing, to say, hey, Algonac has to play us. And we're pretty good too. And we got coaches too. We got support too.
Well, talk to us about Algonac, your opponent on Friday, 10-1 team coming from the Port Huron area. Tell us a little bit about what your scouting report says, what they're going to bring to our field Friday night.
Well, they do some things that are a little unconventional to the eye of people that might not be in the football world as thick as I am. They run a system whereas the quarterback is 2 yards from the center, which is identified as the pistol, a short shotgun. And they're going to run some form of the option. That's a part of what they like to do. Triple option, old school Oklahoma stuff. But instead of being in a wishbone, they flex their wing backs out to line up right outside of the offensive tackles. They're going to bring those guys in some type of motion and really try and get us off of our keys and have us undisciplined per se from the linebacker position to get us moving with those motions. And they do a good job with their scheme. They have some pretty talented players. Their quarterback number 8, he's a pretty thick kid. He's good at what he do. He runs the offense pretty well. So we're going to make sure that we keep the ball inside and in front of us and make sure that those wing backs that they have don't really have such a great day. But at the end of the day, our objective is to make key stops, put them in second and long situations, third and long situations, make them a one-dimensional team, and make key stops on third down and turn the ball over to our offense where we believe we have some very good matchup advantages.
Speaking of offense, if you look at Algonac's score, their record, they have a very strong defense, it appears.
Yes.
What is your game plan in terms of attacking Algonac? Now, if you don't know, Coach Parker runs a spread offense and very, very talented offensive group. Have put up some major numbers this year against some pretty good teams. And so I don't think scoring is an issue, but against this defense that's been very stingy, what's your game of attack there?
Well, they do some pretty good things out of their 4-2-5 system. It's a system that was created a little bit by Coach Bumpus and some guys at Texas Christian University and Coach Patterson a while ago, and it seems as if it's manipulating itself to become a defense that you use versus spread offensive schemes. For us, we use our spread offense in conjunction with the single wing offense, and it's an old offense that Pop Warner created way back in the 1930s, and it gives us the opportunity to have a numbers advantage in the box. So we believe what they're going to attempt to do is create piles at the line of scrimmage. Their defensive line is very, very small. As a matter of fact, their entire defense is very small in stature, but they're quick and agile. So we believe that their defensive line is going to try and create piles by either diving or bear crawling into the gaps and forcing us to go outside where their linebackers are pretty good at moving to. So our particular thought process is to force them to play our style of football, which is going to put them in a situation where they have to tackle us in space, they have to cover us deep down the field, but they have to respect what we're going to do underneath with the short, quick passing game. We see in a lot of games they protect the touchdown with their defensive backs, so their cornerbacks play off at about 7 or 8 yards, and so we'll throw some short and intermediate stuff and force those guys to come up. And the reality is, if those guys don't come up, we'll keep throwing it short out there. In addition to that, we're going to widen out our splits a little bit and let those bear crawlers crawl their way into the gaps. Whereas if one bear crawler is crawling into the A gap, the next bear crawler is crawling C gap, there's a very wide hole in the B gap right off tackle that we should be able to run through. So we're going to adjust some things that we do spacing-wise to put those guys in a situation where they have to chase us and make tackles in space. And at the end of the day, we have no fear. You know, if they can do that well all game, my kids, my coaching staff are ready to shake their hand and say good job. But at the end of the day, I think we're pretty good at what we do.
And Coach Parker, if you've been around Coach Parker's program, he's built tradition here, tradition that unlike anything that I've seen in my 27 years here in River Rouge. If you get a chance, you got to come see this walk that we call it, the walk to greatness, that Coach Parker starts at about 5:40, 5:35, 5:40, right here in front of the high school, where he takes the team, the band, and anybody else that wants to walk with him, and they walk from the school down to Schaefer and walk down Schaefer under the viaduct. They get in front of the stadium, and then Coach Parker, I don't know where you get it from, but it's become something of an event here in River Rouge where everybody's got their cell phone out listening to some of these speeches that you have before you let those kids enter the stadium. Speak to that and what comes over you from when you leave this high school till you get to those gates, because you become a different guy. I see it.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about those moments. And as I stated, since I've been 6, I've been the same guy. I've been, as soon as I step on the field, I have a level of excitement like no other. And so those moments, I think about those moments. I think about everything that my parents have did for me, everything this community is doing for me, and how at the end of the day, it's about us. and that's a part of what we do. But I look back at some old traditions to create new traditions, and when I look back at the past, there were guys that played in the 80s and the 90s that walked all the way over to Dan Riney Field House, is what I call it, to play a football game. So why would we stop the walk? We're going to just keep that walk going, the same tradition, the same way, to bring back those old spirits, those old alumni guys that may not be with us anymore. But we're going to walk because that was somebody's jersey before it was my kid's jersey. So it's a level of pride, it's a level of intensity that we create by being taken over by, different types of mentalities and different types of spirits that you can never, ever, ever, ever get that stuff back. So when we walk down this viaduct, and it's painted Panthers. And I thank our community sponsors, our athletic department for getting that deal painted. It was a bad color, like yellowish or something like that. But now it's maroon and white. And once my kids see that thing, it's like fire. I mean, they go nuts. The band is rolling us down there. And once we get up underneath that deal and those drums start beating, man, your heart is going to jump out your chest because it's fun. But it is some anger, it is some boiling intensity that we're ready to let out on the opponent that's going to come into River Rouge. So that's pretty much our thought process when we're going down that thing, and it works for us. It's who we are.
And if you haven't had a chance, we don't charge to walk.
Nope, we don't charge to walk.
So be there. You can meet here at the high school, 5:30. Be a part of this parade that we call the Panther Walk of Success.
Yeah.
To get ourselves to the stadium. One of the things Coach Parker talked about was the ability to play 3 home football games in the playoffs, which is huge. Last year, this is the game we had to travel to Almont, and we were beaten in a really good game out there. But one of the things we talked about, and I know you and I talked about in the offseason, was trying to get that third game at home.
Yep.
It's at home. And one of the reasons we're doing this thing is to get the word out to our community, to our supporters, to our alumni. River Rouge is a great, great place. People never forget they were from River Rouge.
Oh, yeah.
And we want the friends and family, the alumni, to come out to this game. Maybe you could speak to the people how important it is that we don't want to show up Friday night and Algonac come in here with more fans than River Rouge.
Yeah. So this is a tight community. I live here, and it's a situation where I drive home and I get out of my car the night of the game after a win or a loss, and my neighbors are saying, "How was the game, Coach?" That's I live for that moment. I want to be speak highly of what the team is doing. So we need all of those people. We need you neighbors. We need every single human in River Rouge. We need all the business owners. Shut down your business that night. Come on out, support us. We need you because at the end of the day, my kids need you. They want to see you there. They want to know, hey, this city has my back because they wear your city name right on their chest and they wear it with a level of pride. And so Algonac is going to come, and they're going to come with a lot of followers. This is a Cinderella season for them. They were 1-8 last year, 1-8 the year before that, 3-6 the year before that. And so for us, we need that same crowd that we have in the playoffs, but we don't need you guys getting there second quarter. We need you there first quarter, ready to see the first play of the game, excited and cheering us on because they're going to cheer for any and everything that they can get. We need you to cheer for any and everything we can get because we're only as good as you guys allow us to be. So we need to see you guys at the game. I know and I got good faith that you guys are going to be there for us.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, if you have any questions about where to park, things like that, you can feel free to contact the athletic office and we'll help you out with that. But once again, I want to piggyback what Coach said. We need you. River Rouge has always been a great community coming out to support. But I've been on the phone with the folks from Algonac. They're bringing 75 band members. Who knows how many fan buses. But you know what? All that doesn't matter because the pride of Panthers will ring strong and be heard. And whoever gets this message, share it. Share this message with as many Rouge alum that you can get to and encourage them to be there Friday. And as Coach said, don't come at 8 o'clock. Come at 6. The game's at 7. Be there. If you're part of the River Rouge family, there's a tailgate going on across the street. They've got a tent, bonfire. They got the whole thing going on. Come on out, be a part of the tailgate program, and then come on over to the game. We need you. We'd love to have you there as Coach makes history with this group of Panthers, and we continue this march to Ford Field.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Once again, game time is Friday night, 7 o'clock at Panther Stadium against the Algonac football team who's 10-1, and River Rouge is 10-1. So somebody's going to have an 11th win.
That's right.
And be able to take that. Trophy's in my office. I tried to give it to Coach yesterday, and he said he wanted to earn it.
That's
so
right.
We kept it in the office, and we'll be ready to give it to him. Mr. Coleman and Mr. Mockdad get on that field Friday night and give you that trophy. That's what we're here for. If you haven't seen his team, if you haven't seen Coach Parker and his group, you're missing something. It's a new age in River Rouge football, and come out and be a part of it. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with a player and let him talk a little bit about the team and the relationship he has with his coaches, and we'll go from there. But we want to thank you for being there.
Good.
And go Panthers.
Good. Thank you.
All right. Thank
All
you,
right.
buddy. Leaders of the football team, welcome to the show, Mr. Wycoff. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you become a Panther?
Well, I played Little League for the Motor City All-Stars, and it was a head football coach called Randy Parker. He introduced me because I didn't know what high school I was coming to, and I came and practiced in the summertime of my 8th grade year. I decided, this is where I wanted to be. All the coaches is friendly, everything is falling in place, the transportation is nice, and everything started falling in place. So my freshman year, went to off-season training. It was real rough. It was nothing like it, and it just started getting better and better. And my sophomore year, I ended up starting as a sophomore, and I started building connections with coaches. They was coming and get me and other players in the summertime. We didn't have no transportation, and I started like, this is where I wanted to be. And the end of my sophomore season, it was cut short at our first playoff game, and that was. And I always remembered that play, and I always had a grudge on it.
Monroe CC.
Monroe Catholic Central. So, and that was that. And my junior year, we had a good season. We went far, won districts and lost in regionals. And now it's my senior year. And the thing I noticed, like every year, like my first year, our team was very talented, but had no team chemistry. Last year, we was talented, had okay team chemistry. This year we have both because we just started a group chat that we talk every night, try to keep ourselves in high spirits, pray, and hang out on weekends. And we really prepare. We actually, it's like a big family. We tell everybody everything. We there for each other no matter what time of the night. And we just ready to get the boat on the road.
Good for you. So tell us a little bit, because no one has any idea what it's like to play for this guy. Tell us what it's like to play for Coach Parker.
Well, nothing is given. Everything is always hard working. Off season, it's gonna be hard. He had a message for us. He said last year we got put out in regionals. He said this off season training, that you gonna feel this. You gonna understand where what we about to go through now is what you gonna feel in this time of the year. And now tomorrow, this is what we gonna feel in this time of the year. Don't give up. It's called mental toughness. 2 years ago we had it every Tuesday. This year we had it Monday through Friday every day. So it's a mental toughness. You got to be mental and physically tough to play for this guy. You got to keep your grades up, and you got to be a well-spoken guy. You can't he changed your life around, and it's just amazing. Nothing I ever saw, and I didn't expect me to turn out like this, and I feel great.
Coach Parker and I spoke briefly before we started it. We brought you down here because you epitomize this transformation that Coach Parker believes in, taking young men who are, learning a little bit about themselves and turning them into grown men ready to take on the world. And you are an excellent example of that. And we're very proud of what you become and who you are going to become. And we just can't wait to see you Friday night. What does Algonac got?
Thank you.
What they got to be ready for Friday night from you?
Well, for me, they just have to be ready for sportsmanship and very physical and discipline. And that's as a team, we have to come out fast, be real disciplined, and show sportsmanship, and don't let nobody get under our skin.
And talk a little bit about what that crowd at River Rouge Panther Stadium means to you as a player. You feel them up there?
I feel it. It's like my blood is pumping right now. I've been anxious. It's so amazing because it's thousands, not thousands, but hundreds of people that sometimes you never met and you actually get to meet. And throughout the city, you walk around and they show you a lot of love. And it's just amazing to show how many people that really care just because of a sport. And it's more than a sport for all of us. And we come as a family. The crowd come on the field after a big win, celebrate with us. And everybody coming together, no matter if they have problems outside of anything. And it's just amazing.
That's great. We talked earlier about Coach Parker's speech before he lets you go onto the field right there at the gate at Panther Stadium. Those speeches get you pumped up a little bit?
It get me real pumped up. It actually gets me emotional, and it's like what we talk about is a tribe, and we just get ready to go to war every time.
So you believe in this family, concept that Coach Parker's instilled?
Yes, sir. I really believe in it.
All right. Well, we want to wish you all the best. Friday night, as you and Coach Parker and the rest of the Panthers take on Algonac, bring that regional championship. Leave it here. That trophy's in my office. I want to keep it here in Rouge. And we wish you all the best. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we can't say enough how much we need your support this Friday night, 7 o'clock at Panther Stadium. Get there early, be loud, wear your maroon and white. Let's show the rest of the state what River Rouge is all about, because this is a secret that's about ready to get told.
Oh, yeah.
That secret's over.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not keeping it to ourselves anymore. And gentlemen, if you have anything else to say, feel free to do it. But we want to thank you for being a part of our Panther preview show today, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coach
Thanks,
Parker.
Isaac.
Thank you.
Thanks, Isaac.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Emery.
You got it. Guys, that was one of our better shows.